Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 7 September 2023, Thursday night at 9 o'clock. That means it's time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel, and we have a big one tonight. Before we get into the meat of it, let's do a little bit of housekeeping as usual. First up, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I will also print them in the description underneath this video so you can watch them at your leisure. Also in the description, very important, above the terms of the sale you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on this channel. The first one will be especially valuable if you're new to this weekly sales event. It's entitled A Primer for Buyers. It's a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms of the sale. So if you haven't participated with us before, I strongly suggest that you watch that so you understand why we do things the way we do and how to navigate the process. The second link is pertinent to those of you who want to use this weekly sale to move along some of your collection. It is called FAQs for Consignors, and that video explains how this all works from the consignor's perspective. The third video link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the all-important video description, you will see those 3 links at the top, then the terms of the sale in the middle, and then at the bottom you'll find tonight's inventory list, complete with timestamps to each knife on the left and pricing on the right. In the pricing column, you will generally see 2 numbers. The one on the left of the slash is the price of your knife as shown in the video. The price on the right, as sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service. No next day sharpening tomorrow. So if you buy a knife to be sharpened from this sale, it'll ship in 3 to 4 weeks. If you see the word sold in the place where pricing should be, that means that knife has been bought and paid for by its new owner. No need to send an inquiry or an I'll take it about anything marked sold in the inventory list. I think that's about it. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you, and we'll be right back with the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we've got just 4 leftovers from last week. There will be some screaming deals on these. The first one comes to us from Titusville, PA. The GEC line from Great Eastern Cutlery. We know this as the Acorn series of knives, and you'll see why in just a moment. This would be a 99 Wall Street in 440C with American elk covers, model 990118. As well as the tube, you're going to get a button and a knife. And here is the Wall Street. A super slick, I gotta wipe the blade here because I get fingerprints all over it. Very gentlemanly lockback. I love on the 440C blades, the etch comes out with a golden hue. Triple line bolster, Acorn shield, and then sort of a square cut end, chamfered cap, lockback mechanism. As with most GEC lockbacks, you're going to find a very, very slight amount of vertical play. Light spring tension. This one centers up beautifully. There is the match on the American elk. A little bit concave on the mark side. but beautiful pieces of antler. Let's see, 3 3/4 inches of closed length. We'll call this near mint to like new in tube. There are none recently sold or currently for sale in elk, so we have no idea. We figured it was probably worth $250 a week ago. It didn't sell at $250. Then we dropped it to $225 on Saturday. It's still here. When's the last time you saw a near mint to like new Wall Street for sale for $200? Well, it's probably been a while, but this is it. $220 if you'd like it with my edge. It's the GEC Acorn 99 Wall Street. Next up, this is probably the buy of the sale this week. It's from Lionsteel by way of Sulphur, Oklahoma. It is a Lionsteel collector knives collaboration from the Euro Barlow series. And this is the Beerlow. Why? Well, because you have a sheep's foot main. And, whoops, a screwdriver cap lifter on the backside. Natural canvas micarta scales, titanium bolsters and liners, M390 blade steel, 3 3/4 inches of closed length, long pulls on both sides of the main blade, and a nice big swedge. Walk and talk are beautiful. Pull weight is about a 7. Both tools beautifully centered. We will call this near mint to like new in box. Currently available collector knives for $165. We ran this one last week at $110. It didn't sell. Dropped it to $95 for the weekend. It's still here. Are you kidding me? $85 this week, guys. $110 with my edge on that main blade. That is the Lionsteel CK Beerlow. Next up, we have the lone remaining Victorinox from last week. This is the Rucksack, made on the newish 111 millimeter chassis that was used originally for the next generation real Swiss Army knife, like the one that the Swiss Army carries. And it's made its way across the Victorinox line of tool packaging, right? A very ergonomic handle, this one in matte red. You do get the toothpick and the tweezers. The main blade is a big old spear. And let's see, it's 111 millimeters and the blade's probably that blade's got to be 4 inches long. Now this one does have some scratches. It has been sharpened. And it is a locking blade. That's what this little gray button or lever is on the back side. And then you get your usual can opener, small screwdriver, large screwdriver cap lifter, wire cutter. What else we got in here? Oh yeah, a saw, a corkscrew, and an all with sewing eye. Condition on this, we'll call it near mint. Sharpening scratches noted, but really the rest of the tools look unused. These are discontinued, not a stock. We ran this last week at $45, dropped it to $40 for the weekend. This week, $35 for the Rucksack, $55 if I sharpen the main blade. Next up, we have our last leftover from last week. We got a lot of stuff here stacked up. I'll try not to drop it all over the place. It's from Chris Reeve, large Sebenza 31 with Macassar Ebony inlays. The lanyard has been untied and removed, but it's all there, including the bead. It's going to come with an extra pocket clip and a fill tab. If you'd like to carry it in the slip without the clip, you can do that and still look clean. So here's the think twice, cut once slip. I don't think the knife had ever been in here till I put it in for the video. So basically brand new slip, and here's the knife. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the new inlay pattern. I really do. It looks great. Gold single-sided thumb stud, and then gold accoutrement on the back. Blade steel on this one, S45 VN. And this is as close to new as my eye can see. I don't even see any carry marks on the perimeter, so very much like new. Free dropping blade. Perfectly centered. Let's look at the lock engagement. Beautiful. So yeah, we will say like new in box, except for the lanyard noted, right? So, and we talked about this last week. When this knife was purchased, the web retail for these was $650. It looks to me like, and they're out of stock everywhere, but it looks to me like next time they run premium wood with the standard blade, they're going to be $750. We ran this last week at $575, didn't sell, dropped it to $540 for the weekend. Wow, somebody gets a real buy. $495 this week. $520 if you'd like it with my edge. It's the Chris Reeve Large Sebenza 31 Macassar Ebony. Let's see if I can put this back without knocking stuff over. Well, we just do that. All right, next up, on to the fresh stuff. The first one comes to us from Medford Knife and Tool. I guess this is kind of new packaging, maybe, because we don't have the big Pelican box. We just have the pouch and some goodies. All right. Oh, the knife. The knife inside is, according to the label, a 187 DP in S35 VN, tumbled standard finish on blade and handle. Hardware flame anodized. Okay. I have a certificate of creation and authenticity. This was made May 24th, 22. This is a pretty sweet looking Medford. So you've got that tumble polished finish on the handle. There's your flame anodized hardware, including the clip. Blade is a spear point with kind of a low-ish hollow grind. I love the tumble polished flats and then the grinder satin hollow grind. It really is aesthetically pleasing and rugged looking. Blade length 4 1/8, handle 5 1/4. A non-inserted titanium frame lock. Lockup is robust, 0 stick, 0 slip. Super smooth phosphor bronze Medford action. Not really free, but nice and smooth. Beautiful blade centering. Condition on this one, we will say near mint in box. This model in this configuration, currently out of stock everywhere, would have been $550 web retail. Let's see, let's do $475 on this one. $475 like it is $500 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Medford 187 DP. Next up, we've got a Hinderer. Yes, we do. Which Hinderer is it, Rob? Well, it's a 3.5-inch XM18 swedged spear in M390. Tri-way pivot, working finish with FDE flat dark earth G10 scale. And bronze hardware. That would be bronze anodized titanium. Gorgeous. Gorgeous and still rugged with that working finish. So that's like a bead blast and then kind of an acid stone wash to finish it. Does have the ball bearings installed in the tri-way pivot. 3.5 inches of blade, 4 3/4 inches of handle. Steel inserted lock face on the titanium lock bar. There's your engagement. Hinderer lock bar stabilizer, of course. Beautiful flipping action. Yeah. And perfect centering. Condition, we will say near mint in box. This has been sharpened by its owner. Not an extremely polished edge. It'll be kind of a toothy edge. Quite nice, actually. So I will give you a sharpened price, but don't feel like you need it if you're going to use this knife. These are out of stock, as usual. Sold listings on eBay for the Swedged spear, similarly trimmed between $520 and $550. We're going to do this one at $450, like it is. $480 with my edge. The Hinderer XM18 3.5-inch Swedge spear. Next up, we have a save me from myself moment. Yes, we do. And I think for good reason, because I have this knife in a different colorway, as the watch guys say. From a Zero Tolerance, experience it. We have a ZT0640 Emerson, but this one has the suffix WBW. Why is that? Well, I guess this was a, what do they call it? A special factory edition. It is going to be not wearing the original ZT clip, which is kind of lame. It is wearing a Parkerized Emerson clip. How about that? The WBW stands for the black and white carbon fiber, and then the frame and the blade are finished in black wash, which would be DLC coating and then tumble. Goes with the Emerson pocket clip really well. That is a stunner. 20 CV blade, 3 3/4 inches long, 4 13/16 inches a handle. It is a titanium frame lock, but then it has these sort of reduced size revealing scales over top. There's your lock engagement. That is a steel inserted lock bar, by the way. Lockup is dead rock solid. The phosphor bronze washer action on these is stunning. This one no exception. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Totally squared away. Let's see, what else can we tell you about this? Oh, this has also got a user applied edge. Not super polished, but very nicely done. I will give you a sharpened price, but again, just like the Hinderer before this one, it's plenty sharp like it is if it's a user, okay? So these are discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings on eBay for this exact model run between $263 and $303. We're going to do this one with both clips, very near mint in box. $245 like it is, $275 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That is the ZT0640 WBW. Next up, we have a little run of Emerson knives. We don't get them nearly enough, but here we go. 3 of these 4 relatively current. You can tell by the new packaging. This one is a Specwar ASF with the gray G10 handles. Okay, so look at this gorgeous thing. Beautifully milled gray G10. Bright hardware, including the clip. No wave on the Specwar, but we do have the thumb disc. Fires beautifully, man. For a non-ball bearing pivot Emerson, this is one of the sweetest opening knives of theirs I've ever felt. So we got an S35 VN blade. Beautiful clip point. V ground main bevels and then a chisel ground edge bevel. Blade length is 3 3/8. The handle's 4 15/16. It is an ergonomic dream, by the way. Titanium lock bar locks up thusly. It is rock solid, no stick. And the blade centering is, well, doggone if it ain't perfect. How about that? Yeah. So this was a limited run according to the Emerson website. It's near mint to like new in box. Discontinued and out of stock. One recently sold on Arizona Custom Knives at $445. This one can be yours, $280 like it is, $305 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Emerson Specwar ASF in gray G10. Next up, this is kind of really interesting for an Emerson. Kind of outside the box. So it says Persian SF, also known as and sometimes listed as the P-Tac in brown micarta, the new Emerson box, which is, by the way, stunning. Here's the knife, and this is not a small knife. When you look at pictures of this on the web, it looks like a tiny knife. It ain't. Okay? So we've got 5.5 inches of handle. And then we got that. 4 1/16 inches of Persian 154 cm blade. Thumb disc opening only, no wave. Titanium liner lock engaged thusly. They're calling this brown micarta. It looks to me like natural canvas, but yeah. Bright clip, bright hardware. There's our little old familiar Emerson lock stick. Whoops. And when I say lock stick, I mean just enough to show you it's there. Centering blows on this one. It doesn't hit, but it's not good. It's Emerson-like. We'll call it near mint in box. The edge has been touched up. Okay. Out of stock at $349 is what they sold for new. We're going to do this one at $300 like it is, $325 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Emerson Persian SF or P-Tac. Next up, another save me from myself moment. I'll show you why here in a minute. From Emerson Knives. We have a model of theirs that I used to own and I didn't carry a lot. Why? Because it didn't have a left-hand clip mount, but this one does. It's a Horseman BT with the black blade, drilled and tapped for left-hand carry. Don't worry, right-handers, you still have the right-hand clip mount. Right there it is, but this one has the clip mounted on the left side. So the Horseman, what are these? Are they like a mini CQC8, I believe is the alphanumeric designation, but smaller than a regular CQC8. So you got a 4 7/8 handle, and that G10 still has that sort of waviness that is indicative of a new-ish Emerson, right? It sort of goes away as you use it. You have a wave and a thumb disc on this one. 154 cm blade, black coated. New style clip, standoffs. There is your lock engagement on the titanium liner lock. No stick on this one. Centering very nice. Might not be quite perfect. You might favor the lock side ever so slightly. Rock solid lockup. So we will call this one near mint in box. These are out of stock. When they were last available, they were $197 web retail. And the lefty carries being kind of rare. We're going to do $195 like it is, $220 if you like it with an ApostleP edge. The Emerson Horseman BT, ambidextrous carry. That brings us to the last Emerson in our sale tonight. No box with this one, just the inner baggie. A model I haven't seen. This is the Bulldog from Emerson. Again, a very lightly carried knife. Kind of short and stubby is this one. Got the Tonto blade, 154 cm. 3 1/16 inches is your blade length. You have the wave and the disc. This one has been user sharpened. This is a completely chisel ground knife. The backside completely flat, and then chisel ground primary barrel bevels and edge bevel on this one. There is your lock engagement on the titanium locking leaf. It is rock solid, no stick. Beautifully smooth action. Blade centering, it's hard to tell from the chisel grinding, but it's basically perfect. We'll call it near mint, no box. The Bulldogs are out of stock everywhere. When this was available last, it was $221 web retail. Let's do this one at $195 like it is. $225 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Emerson Bulldog. Next up, a beloved Benchmade icon, a black class knife, model number 3300, the model name Infidel. Comes in the work of art Molly compatible sheath. Easy to get the knife out even with gloves on. The Molly straps are in the box, by the way. The 3300 Infidel, really, other than some friction tracks from fidgeting in the hard anodized black coating, this knife is new. Designed by Mr. McHenry. D2 steel, bead blasted finish for low reflectivity. The deep carry bespoke Infidel clip. Blade length 3 15/16, handle length 5 inches. It is a double action OTF, medium button effort. This is one you could sit on the couch with and flick open and closed for the length of an entire feature film, driving your wife bat poop crazy, and your thumb would not be sore. 100% reliable, by the way. So, oh my gosh, they've discontinued this model, and they're out of stock. When they were last available, they had web retail or MAP pricing from Benchmade at $450. Let's do this one. Like new, in box, $395. We don't need to sharpen this. All it needs to do is stick things. That's the Benchmade 3300 Infidel. Where did my box go? Oh, there it is. I had to put it away in its little home here. Yeah. All right. Next up, oh, more Benchmade. This one is in the wrong box. It is not a Mini Osborne. It is a Mini Freak. Model number is 565-1. We would call this the Mini Super Freak. Carbon fiber scales, aluminum hard anodized red, standoffs and thumb studs. Blade, a nicely stonewashed S90V. 2 15/16 inches in length, 4 inches a handle. Parkerized split arrow clip. You know, this knife would be screaming my name. I'm just not a big S90V lover, but I know many of you are. And that's the blade steel. So, axis lock mechanism, locks up rock solid. Super free action. And how about, would dead centering be okay? Okay, that's what we got. So let's see, what else do we know about this? It has been sharpened. And again, not a super high polish, but a very, very nice edge. Much nicer than the factory edge. So we'll say near mint, wrong box. Current web retail or MAP pricing from Benchmade is $306. You want to buy one of these brand new? How about we do $235 on this one? $265 with my edge, but again, has a pretty nice user applied edge on it now. It's the Benchmade 565-1 Mini Super Freak. Next up, now I got mixed feelings about this one. I'll just tell you. So it's a Benchmade, and it is a bug out, and it's a 535 BK-1902, which would have been the second special run of the year 2019, right? And it was an S30V murdered bug out. So it came with the CF Elite scales, black. So what makes a bug out a bug out? Well, in my mind, super usable ergonomics and extreme lightweight. what are they, 1.7 ounces in that configuration. But this consignor decided, you know what, screw that 1.7 ounces. I want it to weigh half a pound. So we have some Flytanium copper scales that really, this knife has been carried enough that the copper is gorgeous. Yeah. The patina has a blackish component, which I think just goes great with everything that's black on the knife. These we've tied on a little leather thong lanyard. So you get the Parkerized Shorty deep carry clip, a Cerakoted S30V blade. Now, you're going to see some rubs in that coating. Let's see if I can get the camera to show them up. But very superficial, right? Let's see how we do. Yeah, pretty free blade. Doesn't quite drop off the brake, but then it does, which is probably good. So the tightest spot is right at lockup. Zero blade play. Centering is about dead. Yeah. That's kind of nice if you don't mind a heavy bug out, right? Oh, this was a Blade HQ exclusive in its original configuration, by the way. Long out of stock. We're going to do this one with the Flytanium scales and the original scales at 120 bucks like it is. 145 if you like it with my edge. That is the Benchmade 535BK 1902 bug out plus custom scales. Next up, I have another knife, boxless, just a baggie. The knife is from Zach Brown's Southern Grind. Ooh, we have a murdered bad monkey in 3D machined black G10. We've got the delicious Southern Grind Shorty clip, right hand tip up only. We got a black coated blade in Sandvik 14C28N. Sort of a medium saber ground. Will we call that a spear point? I guess we could. Nice jimped ramp, very nice jimping. Titanium liner lock on phosphor bronze. Perfect centering, beautiful action, rock solid lockup. You got 4 inches of blade, 5 1/4 inches of handle. Near mint, no box. Out of stock when these were last available. They were $280 web retail. How about we do $195 like it is? $220 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Southern Grind Bad Monkey murdered. Next up, we have one from Mr. Chavez and his Ultramar series. This knife is a Rendition 229. I don't know what all those letters mean. I can show you the knife though. Well, here it is. Yes. The slab-sided titanium handle, titanium backspacer, milled titanium Mick Jagger skull clip, which a lot of people like me don't really love. So some of these knives actually include like a knife for or a clip for a regular human being, and this one does. It'll be in the box. This is the Tanto bladed version of the Rendition 229 M390. Beautiful grinder satins going all kinds of different directions. It's a coarse satin, but look how reflective. Yeah, very cool. 3 5/8 blade, 4 5/8 handle. Steel inserted titanium frame lock. There's your engagement. Rock solid lockup. Ball bearing pivot. Perfect centering. Near mint to like new in box. I don't think I could find a mark on it. This model is out of stock when last available. The web price retail was $375. Let's do $295 on this one. $330 if you'd like it with an Apostle P edge. That is the Chavez Ultramar Rendition 229 Tanto. Next up, this certainly will not be the most expensive knife in tonight's sale, but it's so cool. From a great old, now a shadow of its former self company. And if you look at that bow tie shield, man, look at that. Coined edge, Schrade 84 it says. Yeah. So this is well back into the American-made Schrade days. Does it say Providence? It says Heritage Schrade, model 8041, in not saw cut but smooth green bone, but it's profiled like saw cut with dead flats. That is gorgeous bone, guys. Lined bolsters in nickel silver, brass liners, and what's the cool part about this knife, other than that gorgeous coined edge shield? Brass liners, including the center wedge spacer. You are looking at that and your eyes are not deceiving you. That is a true split back whittler from the mid 80s from Schrade. 3 13/16 inches of closed length. And look at this main clip point with a great etch. Let me wipe this so it shows up better. Yeah. Everlastingly sharp. Must not have been, because I think this has actually been resharpened. But anyway. I'm going to say these are probably stainless steel blades, but I don't know what steel. Let's see, we're on about a 7 pull on a cam. Beautiful walk and talk. The alignment of that center blade is not perfect. It favors the left as you're looking at it very slightly, but there's zero rub in these blades, guys. Yeah. And then your secondaries, man, the walk and talk's beautiful. Also on cams, and interesting, the main blade is polished and the secondaries are satin, which is kind of how they did, you know, on less expensive knives back in the day. Little clip point secondary, beautiful walk and talk, and a coping blade secondary. Yep. Beautiful knife, very near mint, no box, produced. History told me between 83 and 85, and the 84 on the shield would back that up. We're going to do 85 bucks on this one. 125 for me to sharpen all 3 blades. It's the Schrade 8041 split back whittler. What a beautiful piece. Next up, across the pond we go for an A. Wright and Son swayback lambfoot jackknife. I do not know the wood, but it's pretty gosh darn good looking. Very blonde. Brass pins. Nickel silver bolsters and brass liners. I do not know the blade steel on this one, but I was looking at the way it slightly orange peeled when they polished it, and it makes me think it might be D2, just from its physical appearance. So there is your tapering lamb foot blade. We have 3 9/16 inches of closed length. About a 7.5 pull on a nice cam tang. Beautiful walk and talk. Centered right down the middle. We will say near mint, no box, made in Sheffield, England. Your price 60 bucks, like it is 80 with an Apostle P edge. That's the A. Wright and Son swayback lamb foot. Next up, we come back to the States, to Bradford, Pennsylvania, for a case Barlow. Yes, sir, Bob. This one is a case 62009.5 CV Barlow with brown saw cut bone covers, long nickel silver bolsters, stamped case XX. We got a 3 3/8 inch closed length, clip point main on a half stop, full flat ground, nice and robust. Kind of reminds me of a GEC 56 clip point. Beautiful walk and talk. 7.5 pull, I'm gonna say. Secondary belt blade is a large usable pen blade. Beautiful. We'll call it near mint, no box, just a little bit of pocket wear on the nickel silver, but certainly easily polished out if you want. Found one sold listing for these sold out knives on eBay. It was $135, and I believe that was an auction, so it bid to $135. Your price on this one, $95 like it is. $125 if you'd like it with an Apostle P edge. It's the case 62009.5 CV Barlow. Next up, we have come to the Rob's Pick point in tonight's sale. So the knife you're going to see, my early birds did not. So 9 o'clock tonight will be the first time this knife will be viewed. It comes in a top hand leather basket weave pattern belt pouch. No box for this knife, but what a beauty. What a beauty. The model starts with the letters TB. You should know what that means. That means it was designed by the old dog from the Wilfred Works, Tony Bowes. God rest his soul. It is the TB 6.512010 L SS tribal lock in bone stag, closed length 4 1/16 inches. The blade is the Tony Bowes design Zulu spear. Let me wipe it off. And this is, of course, because the model number tells us so, in true sharp stainless. Oh yeah. Has this one been sharpened? I don't think it has. It has not. Oh, let's see. How's the lockup? How about dead rock solid? Centers up beautifully. Wow. So there's your sheath. There's your knife. Sold listings on eBay are run between $85 and $160. That would be for the knife only. A lot of those are going to have the box. This one does not, but much more usable than the box. Let's see. Let's do $90 like it is. $110 if you like my edge on it. It's the case TB 6.512010 L SS tribal lock. Go back in your little home. Okay, next up, another boxless knife, and it's another one from Case. Pretty stunning little affair, actually. It is a 61953.5 L SS Russlock. Very interesting locking mechanism and deployment mechanism. So you thumb it open, and then you've got a jimped thumb ramp, sort of. You got a little spear point blade, and this will be in true sharp stainless steel. This knife has been used and sharpened, and I think there's some little scratches in the blade. Nickel silver bolsters. I think you've got, looks like we have a nickel silver liner on the non-lock side, and then a stainless steel liner on the lock side. So it acts like a liner lock, but not really. So there will always be blade play because it rests on this surface of the tang, not that surface. They're not really designed to have zero blade play. And then you slide it over. Centering is going to be off to the right as you're looking at it. Nice and smooth action though. Orange jig bone covers. Closed length is 3 9/16. We will call it excellent, no box. Sold listings on eBay ranging between $56 and $80. Let's do $55 on this one, shipped priority mail. $75 with my edge. That is the case 61953.5 L SS Russlock. Next up, this is really a save me from myself moment. We already had one knife from Sheffield, England, and now we have another one. So it's hard to see, but this is the actual original plastic envelope for the knife, and that's the original paperwork that came with it. It's an IXL knife, and I think I got to read this. It's like George Wost something and Sons, but it'll say IXL. The brand is IXL, and there is your bolster stamp. So all steel construction, bolsters and liners are steel. It is a single blade clip point Barlow on a cam tang. I do not know the steel, but I'm thinking it's carbon. A little bit of staining in front of the long pull. So satin finished blade on a cam tang. Stunning walk and talk. 3 7/16 inches closed, and the covers appear to be buffalo horn, and they still fit pretty doggone nicely, and this is not a new knife. So not much shrinkage has occurred. A little bit of separation in the liner right there. But a sweet example of a Sheffield made knife. About 7 pull, beautiful walk and talk. Centering is close but favors the left a little bit. So we'll call it excellent to near mint in pouch. Sheffield made IXL Barlow, 60 bucks. Like it is, 80 with my edge. That's a sweet pocket knife. Next up, our second Tony Bose design case tonight. This is a limited edition, and yes, 3,000 would be limited for a case knife. Our label is a little worse for the wear, but this is a TB117 swayback jack. What a little beauty. Looks like a little banana with that yellow jig bone. I think they call it goldenrod there, right? No, marigold. Marigold jig bone. Nickel silver bolsters and end caps. Brass liners. Beautiful bone. Main blade on a half stop. There's a little warning. There is your black and gold limited edition etch. And it would be true sharp stainless steel. 3 3/16 inches of closed length. About a 6.5 pull on a half stop. Beautiful walk and talk. Secondary blade, little pen. Beautiful walk and talk. Centering I wrote down close. So the pen blade looks about perfect and the main blade favors the right just a bit. Excellent to near mint in box. Unobtainium. No new ones available. Nothing on eBay either recently sold or currently available. Let's do 85 bucks like it is. 110. I sharpen both blades. The case TB117 swayback jack. Limited edition. Next up we have our last case of the evening. It's from the Pocket Worn series. And I got a smudge label, but it's the 64052 SSM Congress knife in red jigged bone. A sweet medium-sized Congress. Gorgeous bone. Deeply stamped shield. Chamfered bolsters in nickel silver. Liners are brass. So let's see what we got here. I've got a sheep's foot main, a long pull, full flat ground, on a half stop, 6 pull. Our other main would be a spear, then a pen, and a large coping blade. I'll call the pull on those mains a 6. Walk and talk is perfect, and there's 0 rub on this linerless Congress knife. How about that? We'll say it's near mint in box. One sold on eBay recently for $108. Let's do 85 bucks on this one. If you want me to sharpen all 4 blades, it's going to cost you another 50 bucks. So 135 sharpen. That's the case 64052 SSM Congress. Next up, we've got some brother-in-law knives, and I got them packaged up in combos. The first one we're going to call the SOG Combo. Got two knives in it. The first is the Salute Mini. So this is a pretty standard looking SOG, but it's a midlock. There's your ambidextrous tip up deep carry clip. Let's see. Nice little sort of California clip blade in 8CR13 MOV, 3 1/8 long. Lockup should be dead rock solid, and it is. I believe these thumb studs are adjustable. You can slide them fore and aft for your best ergonomics. Nice free action with the lock released. Centering is very close to perfect. Might favor the right ever so slightly. Let's see. See if I can line this up here. Yeah. Condition on this one, we will say near mint, no box. And then the second knife is the side swipe. So this is an aluminum handled knife with, I think that's like FRN molded to look like milled G10. Then you've got a Parkerized ambidextrous deep carry SOG pocket clip. This also sort of a mid-back lock. Blade steel on this one is 7CR15. The blade is 3 7/16 inches long. Oh, it's spring assisted as well. How about that? A lock back with a spring assist. Works really well. And there's a safety. Very slight vertical play in this one. Now, it's got some carry wear. Just so you know. How's the blade? Let's see. Doesn't appear to have been sharpened. Probably needs to be. Okay. Alright, so the Salute Mini sells brand new for web retail of $30. The side swipe 41. That's 71 bucks. Let's do both of them at $50 for the combo and then $25 each to sharpen. That's the SOG Combo. Next up, we have our first of two combo deals from Columbia River Knife and Tool. This will be called CRKT Combo number 1. Okay, two knives as well. This is the Pilar L, so the large size Pilar. 2 11/16 inches of Jesper Voxnäs design. What's the blade steel on this? I don't remember. It's probably 8CR13. I forgot to write it down. It is a stainless steel frame lock. Okay, with right hand tip up or down pocket clip. There is your lock engagement. Lockup is rock solid. Nice and smooth on Teflon washers. Centering is just about perfect. It might favor the right or the left slightly, but you could probably adjust that. Condition is near mint, no box. The second knife is the Igniter T. G10 scales. Tip down right hand clip, a little bit of pocket wear. And the Igniter T is interesting. It's a spring assisted knife and the thumb stud is the safety. If you notice, when I push in on the thumb stud, something happens. There's a spring. You push it down and then you fire it, and then it's a spring assisted knife. Liner lock. Torsion spring. If you don't push the thumb stud in toward the blade, you'll not open the knife. How about that? We have the VEF serrations. Blade steel is 8CR14. Blade length is 3 3/8. Handles 4 1/4. We'll say excellent, no box. So the Pilar L sells for $40 web retail. The Igniter for $50. I think that's $90. Let's do the pair for $60. Plus $25 each to sharpen. That's the CRKT Combo number 1. Next we have, you guessed it, the CRKT Combo number 2. It comes with a squid in blackwash. Another stainless steel frame lock knife. It's going to be tip up deep carry right hand. 8CR 13 MOV blade, 2 1/4 inches long, 3 7/16 handle, Teflon washers, thumb stud deployment. There's your lockup, it's rock solid. Blade centering is pretty darn close, might favor the left ever so slightly. And we'll say this knife is near mint. Yeah, I'll say near mint. No box. And then the second knife is the Minimalist Bowie, little necker. That looks like Kydex to me, but it might be molded plastic. I don't know. Look at that little tiny clip point blade. And bead blasted 5CR15 MOV, blade length 2 1/8, 3 inches of handle. You'll need that lanyard for your pinky to grip onto. We have layered black and green micarta. Near mint, no box. So web price of the Minimalist Bowie is $30 retail. The Squid 27, that's $57. Let's sell the pair for $35 plus $25 each to sharpen. That is the CRKT Combo number 2. Next up here is a cool knife. You riflemen may want to snag this one. Not sure who the maker is. The brand is Leupold. Really? Yeah. Nice leather sheath. It is, of course, a hunting knife. So, I'm not sure who the manufacturer was. Let's see, what does it say? Oh, I think it says China. Anywho, we have 3 3/4 inches of 41/16 Krups stainless steel. You've got 4 9/16 of handle with Turkish walnut, and I would call that a burl. Nickel silver bolsters and pins. Pretty nice in the hand. Nice jimping. It's been used and sharpened, and there are some scratches. Probably could use sharpening again. It is called the Leupold 62178 Big Rock. Made in 2008. It was a limited edition. We'll call it very good condition. No box. When these were new, they were $102 web retail. Or, you know, Bud K retail. Let's do 65 on this one, and then 90 if you like it with my edge. That's the Leupold 62178 Big Rock. Next up, it's multi-tool time. We've got one from Leatherman. It's going to come in a orange carbon fiber pattern Kydex belt sheath with a clip and carry. Clip. The multi-tool inside is the Wingman. So it's a steel framed but nicely embossed handle, right? And I think this has got spring-loaded pliers. Let's see. It does. I like that. So no replaceable jaws in the Wingman. Let's look at your tool set. On one side we got a Phillips and a flat. On the other side we got can opener. I don't know, what's that, a hoof tool and a file? And then when we close it all back up, we can check out the blades. There we go. Scissors on that side. And a blade on this side, and it is a liner locking combo edge blade. 3 7/8 closed length. So price of, and this is basically near mint to like new, no box. These sell for $70 web retail. You definitely would pay $20-25 for that sheath, so you're probably, you know, under $100 but barely for the package. Let's do $60 on the Wingman. So I'm trying to remember how I had this thing. Maybe like that. $60 like it is, $80 if you want me to sharpen the blade. Next up, from the low end of the Leatherman to the higher end of Leatherman. This one does come with the box. And it is the Charge Plus, a variant of the Charge I have not seen until right now. So you've got the most awesome multi-tool sheath ever devised by mankind. And you've got a flat of extra driver bits. And you got a multi-tool, which, if my eyes do not deceive me, that is an Anso pattern milled G10 scale set. Factory, Leatherman, right? Pretty cool. And then it's all charged from there, right? You've got your needle nose pliers with replaceable cutter inserts. Tool set scissors. What we got next here? Mini jeweler's screwdriver, replaceable. The scraper tool. Over here we've got your flat driver. And how do I get that out? Wow. Can opener. We'll close it up. Locking blades on this one. There's your main blade, and I believe it's S30V. It is S30V. Liner lock. And here we have the saw. Here we have the serrated blade with seatbelt cutter hook, also going to be on a liner lock. And file, diamond on one side, crosshatch cut on the other. Condition of the Charge Plus, near mint in box with sheath. Your web price for these brand new, $180. This one really has no use on it. Let's do $140 shipped priority mail, $165. I sharpen the main blade. That's the Leatherman Charge Plus. Next up, it is fixed blade time for the rest of the evening. The first one is a cold steel. A model I have not had in my hand, I don't think. It is the Warcraft Tonto XL. It's the XL. It comes in a beautifully made Securex, aka molded plastic sheath. Nice riveted construction, removable heavy-duty nylon dangle. Other than the friction retention, which is beautiful, we've got a nice nylon cross strap with a snap. Then we got a big old knife. It is a big old knife. Ha ha ha. So that is, the blade steel is 4034 stainless. That's probably a Krupp's product, I guess. Look at that speckly stonewash. Look at that Tonto blade. That is 11.5 inches of Tonto awesomeness. I think that's 3/16 stock. The handle is GFN, glass-filled nylon. Lanyard hole, little impact device. Handle length is 5.5. It looks kind of freakishly small on that 11.5 inch blade. Condition is like new in the box. These are out of stock when they were last available. They had a web retail of $158. Let's do on this one $115. Shipped priority mail. $155 if you want me to sharpen it. That is the Cold Steel Warcraft Tonto XL. Next up, it's another big one. Another Cold Steel. Here's your box. Uh-oh. Yes, it is a Natchez Bowie. It sure is. And by the way, that Natchez Bowie has a blade length of 11 3/4 inches, and I have sharpened it. Oh. There's your Securex sheath. There's your nylon cross strap. Oh. Wow. This is also 4034 stainless. Nice satin on it. And it's wearing a convex ApostleP edge. Oh, yeah. 11 3/4 inches of Colonel Bowie. Black linen micarta handle. And it's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of a modified coffin. All the hardware stainless on this one. Little scratch in the pommel. Could be easily polished out. Golly, what a beauty. So we're going to say near mint in box with an ApostleP edge. If you buy one of these brand new, you can, by the way, they're still available for $266 web retail. And then you would pay me $35 to put that edge on, so you'd have $300 in this knife if you bought it new. How about $200 for this one? No need to sharpen. That is the Cold Steel Natchez Bowie TAP, which means the ApostleP edge. Next up, we have one from Maniago. Maniago Knife Makers, to be exact. The knife inside is the Robert Terzuola designed Jouf, J-O-U-F. You're going to like this one. You Bobby T fans are going to love this. So there's your sheath. It's ballistic nylon, as old Bob from Knives Town used to say. Molly strap. Configurable danglage. Nice snap. Oh, guys, kidding me? That is 3D Machine G10, beautifully milled and assembled around a fairly full tang, right? It's just hidden. I believe we have a little exposed area of it there and there, right? That's pretty sweet, actually. Very sweet. And here's your blade. Totally Terzuola. N690CO. And you got 5.5 inches of it. 4 11/16 inches of handle. Man, that's so freaking awesome. And I have sharpened it. It's probably pretty, yeah, it's pretty sharp. We'll call it near mint in box. These are out of stock. When they were available, they were $156 web retail. $30 on my sharpening. I believe that means $186. Let's do this at $140, all ready to go and shipped, priority mail. The MKM Terzuola Jouf TAP edge. Next up, it's half-breed time. And no, I don't mean share. You got to be well over 50 to get that. Okay, these half-breed knives come in immense boxes. Immense boxes. So we have a pair of these. They're different though. This first one is the MK-05P Tonto that I have sharpened. Okay, so you have sort of a flat, I don't know if that's flat dark earth, it's more of a coyote tan Kydex sheath. And it has the molly straps attached. There's a tech lock in the box. Okay, very nice retention, zero rattle. Nice thumb brake. So coyote tan, I'm going to say Cerakote over a D2 blade. I'm going to say that's, I don't know if it's quite a 1/4 inch, maybe. Very nicely made knife. And it's got that glinty ApostleP edge on it. Flat dark earth, large anso pattern G10 scales. The handle length is 4 7/8. Let's see, we'll call it near mint inbox, unused after my sharpening. So web retail on these is $290. Let's do $215 all in, shipped priority mail, no need to sharpen. That's the half-breed MK05P Tonto TAP with an Apostle P edge. And then that brings us to the last knife in the sale, which is also from Half Breed Knives. And it's the same knife basically, but this is a combo edge version. So the model is MK-05PS Tonto, and then it'll say combo edge in the description. So same Kydex sheath, molly straps attached, tech lock in the box. Again, no rattle. You have a 6 15/16 inch D2 blade, tan Cerakoted with the combo edge. And this is factory edge on this knife. The handle is 4 7/8, scaled in FDE G10. Very nice in the hand. It is like new in box. Web retail for this knife, brand new, $290. Let's do this one at $195 like it is. $230 with an Apostle P edge. That's the half breed MK05PS Tonto combo edge. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the Apostle P channel. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now go get you some deals.